Okay, so let me just real quick get back to this, finishing this edit using the horizontal polygon method. So not only have I got this place now, anchored here, and it's got my line's already split there. Now looking at the survey and also looking at my tax map, I determined this line here should carry all the way over to here. So this parcel and this parcel and this parcel are all going to be affected. This line, this is hypothetical, I'm saying now I found out this line should match here, and my new survey boundary up top here is the one that should really be carrying all the way over like that. So I'll put the ortho, this is the fence line, these should all be in the same plane here. So I extend my line over there. I'm going.
While he's doing that, the point here is that you can take COGO information that you feel really good about. It doesn't just affect the extension of edits and correcting data to the parcel right next to it. You can extend that data in this environment over to correct two other splits that were best fit years ago. This is a normal part of the editing process if you're doing it to the best advantage.
Okay. All right. So there are my line changes. At this point, I want to go ahead and put in my information. It's a split from 7.4. What I'm going to do for this, I'm just going to copy the parcel ID from 7.4 down here. I'm going to change it to, call this 7.6. I'm going to call this 1 acre. While I got this selected, annotated with my acres and parcel numbers using the feature links. So we're going to annotate selected features here. Now here's my list. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all these. These show up so that you have to tell it to create feature link data. You got your feature link data set the way it creates every time you create a new feature, you'll end up driving crazy. You want to have control over this. So that's the reason we do it this way. You'll see we've got PID 400, and there's size 1 through 6. Those sizes are so that you can use this symbol to match the oval from your old hard copy maps and keep them in a relative size when possible. When it's a smaller parcel, you got to scale them down, they're going to be different sizes. When you've got room, you want to keep them the same relative size. Using Esri symbology for these type of symbols here, the longer that parcel number is, say if it's parcel number 1, it's going to be one size. Now, if this is parcel number 1.12, even though your anno symbol is set to the same default size, it's going to be a bigger symbol. The symbol and the text inside of it are really two different features treated as one in R. So that's the reason you've got these sizes. And there's a quick little chart that tells you which size goes with however many number of digits you have. So we're going to take size 1 here. That created our annotations.
And does that meet state requirements? The different sizes?
Yes. Well, there are different sizes, but they're really, the reason there are different sizes there are to make them the same size. So if I were to put in a parcel, let's see, for example, so what happens is the longer that parcel number, the more digits that are in there. That was 40.12. If you use the same algebraic standard annotation size, let's say font size is 12, that 40.12 is going to be much larger than that 7. And it's going to appear like a big fat oval next to a smaller oval. So when you scale down that size, what you're really doing is making the geometric size of that parcel number closer to fitting. And then you are allowed the freedom to scale these down. And we don't get down below 50%, so it's still legible on the hard copy maps when you have a tighter area such as this to prevent overlapping parcel lines.
Or does that move on to stay good?
Well, let me, real quick.
He's gonna map that parcel, y'all, just hang on.
I can't, it's in my blood. All right, so. Now, we just made all these changes to these parcels in the lines. Now, deal with polygons. I'm going to do this. I'm going to blow all these away. And we're going to recreate them. I'm just going to select this whole area I just worked on. Now, you can turn your selection off on the front end. I tend to do it here on the back end. All on the parcel line. That's why I drew a bigger selection than I needed to make sure I got every line. I'm still in there and find one that I missed. It's on the polygon. Structure features. Make sure this box is checked. Use existing, so it's not going to create any overlapping polygons. It's going to use your polygons already in there as a base. Right? It's going to fill the gaps, basically. Created. So all the line changes you just did, there we go. Those changes are made during the data. Last step there for your attributes. Just use the attribute. If I can get out of the right tool here. There we go. So, quick one. This is the reason for the points. The points assign the value of the attributes back to the polygons. Day-to-day editing you use with the transfer tool. Production or recreation of these polygons, you would do it globally with the spatial tool. And if any of you have had feature link Nano in the past with polygons, and so you don't have this issue anymore of your feature link Nano you having to be edited when you edit polygons. Those are based on object IDs. That's the problem with the points that all stay. It's all as one. Okay, let's see if we So, these are the data-driven pages. We're away from DS Mapbook now, which is a third-party application. This is another supported application. It's very dynamic Mapbook environment. There's a lot of different queries and things you can do here. One of these being page definitions that we have the ability to do now. So you have a dynamic query. A page definition means that whatever page that you are currently viewing on your index, or if you were doing a mass export of your tax maps, you can set a query to any specific feature in your document to only show those that match or don't match. And this is going to update from page to page. So for the West Virginia environment, showing only those parcels and only those parcel numbers that are on your map, and the ones outside being in a faint gray if you choose to do so, that's how you achieve it, just through these page definitions. The Mapbook label engine being part of 10.1, big bonus there. You don't have to get the extension. That is still used, even though we have these page definitions and definition queries, you still use that label engine. These are a couple of just shots. I've actually got some hard copies laid up here afterwards if you want to take a glance at those, because that's the printed final copy on the table. So these are just 3 different examples of maps that have been created from data pages.
So it is quite feasible. When they came out with 10, it was, oh my heavens, all that custom code associated with creating hard copy maps, needing state specifications. Here, we have the same problem in Mississippi. In terms of producing hard copy, are lost. When Trey and the programming staff first got into 10, they found out, we thought we had a disaster. The more they dug, the more they found, and the more Ezra wrote code. That it's actually
It's not a disaster.
it's a benefit. It's actually a very doable, very workable